Welcome to the Relationship as Medicine podcast. I'm your host, Shelby Lee, outdoor adventure enthusiast, dog mom to Luna, world traveler, longtime meditator, espresso lover, and a trained somatic psychotherapist, trauma specialist, and certified coach. Talking about trauma doesn't have to be so daunting. From a connected place, we can navigate anything together. Looking forward to exploring with you today. Here we go. Hey y'all, Shelby here. This is session 2 in a 3-session series with Tamsin Crimmens, where I am in the coaching role with her. If you didn't hear the first session, it would probably be wise to go backwards so that you have some concept, one episode. In that episode, I introduced to you what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how we're doing it. So if you missed that episode, go back, listen to that one, and then come here. In this second episode, our same intention held strong, with a lot of intention to be human, to be messy, and to see where we went. So with that being said, here we go. Okay, we are ready to go. Would you like to start with some things that are going well?
Yes, definitely. Ooh. They're not rolling off the tongue. Super easy.
Should we start with a few breaths?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a few breaths to begin.
Perfect.
Would you now like to start with a few breaths? Not a few breaths. What's going well?
What's going well? I would like to celebrate, I think, just like how I'm navigating everything. I really celebrate being like super aware of everything that's coming up, and having the space and the time to be able to be with all of it is so incredible. So house move, quite stressful, bringing things up with me and my partner. Like not being too mean to myself when I, instead of like super clearly communicating my needs and boundaries, I like pick a little fight instead, and then we eventually get to the thing that I actually need. But it's like, okay, I'm human, like that's okay. And like the biggest celebration is moving forward with the pregnancy stuff, and being really true to myself and really true to like my limits. And like stuff, these things may not be a big deal for other people. Great, that's them, whatever. For me, each step is pretty huge, and I'm really proud of myself for taking all the space that I need around things. And I also really want to celebrate not feeling such a strong sense of like, you should really be on Instagram and you should really be doing this and you should really be doing that. It's not so, it pipes up occasionally, but is not like what I've experienced in the past, which is an absolute like terrified part that comes out in like a bully That's not strong, which is absolutely incredible.
Wow, my eyes just got really big.
Yeah. It feels like there's finally some space for what I actually want to be doing, not what I think I should be doing.
Yeah.
Which is pretty great.
These are huge.
I know.
I just love seeing the look on your face right now.
It's just so good because it's like there aren't I've not signed any new clients. I haven't hit like some crazy financial goal, but I'm just like, this is the stuff, because it's how I spend my actual life, how I feel in my life.
I keep hearing like it sounds like you're like advocating for yourself in a lot of different ways. You're making choices around what you actually would like to have happen instead of what you think should happen. And the emotions and responses that are coming up are different than usual.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
I don't really know what I make of that, because it still feels very ongoing, like the advocating for myself and the, actually being like, it's okay for me to be like, I don't like this, I don't want this. But I will hugely celebrate that when I'm saying, I don't like this, I don't want this, or this is what I want, my system seems to be like, I think maybe it's self-trust. Like the self-trust has been built over a long time. And like, if we think of spiraling, I'm spiraling back around like for the 50,000th time at this point. So I'm like, okay, cool, we're here again. I know this.
Yeah. Oh, so much awareness. It's beautiful.
I've got the time for it. It's great.
Yes. And it sounds like you're really living into that time intentionally in the way that you had hoped in so many ways.
Yes, I'm like flabbergasted, to be honest. And there's like there's a lot of like life admin happening at the moment, but getting the things that I need to get done and also moving forward with like creative projects at a pace that feels true and not one that is based on pressure to like hit the goal and make the money and do the thing, that feels really new.
Yeah. I think what I'm hearing you say with all of these celebrations, that there's a sense of success and fulfillment. Because I heard you say, I didn't book any new clients. I didn't do the big numbers, whatever, you've been used to as this is success. It sounds like your definition of success is widening and expanding to include more things. Is that accurate?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I've been saying this for so bloody long, like all the clients that I've worked with, where it's like they hit these big numbers and they're hitting the success and it feels shit. What is the point of any of this? And it feels the same for me. And also, I mean, I did just sign a really fabulous new client like last week, so it's like things are still flowing and to feel amazing. But yeah, like to feel like I've navigated myself, like, okay, this is where I'm headed, for things to feel the way I want. Like I want to feel satisfied rather than frustrated. I want to feel a sense of ease, like genuine ease. I feel like I've been headed there and now I've kind of landed there and I'm actually allowing it to be here. I'm also kind of like ovulating. So right now it's like everything's great. Nothing could be wrong in the world right now.
The amount of clients I've had say that to me this week.
Really?
Yes. And I just appreciate that that's part of the spiral of healing, is that awareness of, and here's this moment in time where this is what my system is doing, and this is what supports that. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it is. And it's almost like I was thinking the other day about sales pages and like, like real, like I feel like I'm in real life right now and I'm not in coaching industry fluff world. Or I'm seeing it with different eyes. And like, I feel like a really truly honest sales page at the moment would be like, life is still going to be really hard. You're just going to be able to cope a bit better with it.
Tell me more. What else would that sales page say?
That's the promise. It's not like you're going to make millions and, all of your problems will be solved forever. It's just like the problems will still be there because that's life. And it's beautiful. The problems are beautiful. But, oh my goodness gracious, being conscious and sober and awake and alive to it all is like, well, I think that's just what we're here for, isn't it?
Yeah. As I'm receiving your words, I just feel this deep sense of peace inside and quiet. And the word I would give it is just acceptance, just welcoming it all.
Oh my God, yes, acceptance. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I'm still like, I want my partner to be more like this, and I want this, and I want this. But yeah, like there's a big sense of like, okay, this is actually what life has dealt me, and it's pretty great in many ways. And even the really, really hard stuff, and there is hard stuff, I'm like, okay, like this can be really, I think about my favorite books and stuff, full of hard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes them great. If it was all just easy peasy, I wouldn't be reading the novel.
Yeah. And I heard you just do something that is brilliant, which is when we can fully be with what's here and enjoy it and let it nourish us and nurture us, even if it's not what we want. You said, sometimes my partner, I want this or I want that. It actually brings us more of what we want. It's when we bring to us what we are. And so when we are,
I hate that. God.
Oh, you can totally disagree with me.
No, but you're right. But that's why I don't like it.
When we are in a state of acceptance and welcomeness or gratitude for what's here, we get more goodness, right? I
think you've reached a higher level of consciousness than me, Shelby. That isn't fully, I'm not fully absorbing that. I'm like, that is a beautiful concept. I'm not 100% sure I'm there yet. But it sounds very nice.
Well, I'm seeing you do something like that as you're in your healing process. It might not be exactly that, but the more you're welcoming what's here, even if it's hard, more goodness keeps creeping in, and that capacity to hold it, like you were saying, the sales page, that the stuff keeps coming, but there's something in you that seems like it's making it all easier.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yes, that's definitely true. And yeah, can I keep trusting it? Can I keep trusting it to unfold in the way that it's meant to? And because I'm really noticing right now, there's an absence of force, and it makes me realize how much there has been. And I guess there's like still a little bit of a like, in order to hit your goals, you need, like, it's that balance of stretching and expanding and also like allowing. This feels much better. Just allowing feels absolutely great. But it's not so, I guess I'm controlling less. I really am controlling less.
When you said an absence of force, I was just so struck by you being able to hold, not recreating that force. You being able to, you have worked so hard to notice what's happening when you put the pressure on, to notice the thoughts and to allow or bring in some sense of safety, knowing that that's just what the mind does. And I'm just really impressed with how you can hold, not forcing, not pressuring, right?
Yeah, I am too.
Oh, how does it feel to be celebrating a little here? Or a lot, really?
It's really good. It's really, really good. Yeah, it's taken, I think it's nice to be kind of, I feel like I'm in a bit of a zooming out with all of these different healing cycles and what have you. And there's always like new stuff to come, but it's just so refreshing to be in a new place. You know, when you can feel like you're sort of banging your head against a brick wall and getting, it's like, oh, is this it's just what it is, you know? So it feels really nice to just be like, oh, this is something different and new, a new experience. Yay.
Mm-hmm. Yay. And we get to be with it together.
Yeah.
Should we take a couple breaths and just let the body receive this?
Yeah.
Just notice what places can allow it in easily, even if it's just 1%. Yeah. Where does all of that goodness land, if anywhere?
It feels kind of like quite open in like all my chest and my head.
Yeah.
Feels kind of accepting.
Stay with this as long as you like, just savoring it. And then we can look at an intention for today.
Yes, I was thinking about my intention, and I've had on my list today to brainstorm some ideas in my journal for, I've taken a step that feels really good, which is to create a Substack and have this place for me to write and share and expand.
Mm.
And a few other things on my to-do list today and a few other things going on, but I definitely had space and time to get into my journal and do that, and I didn't. I was like, okay, that's interesting. But then I was like, okay, well, why don't you just bring it to Shelby and maybe you can open it up in this space.
Yeah. And let's look at how this is connected to the main focus around having a baby, a couple of clients, and being creatively expressed. How does this support that bigger intention right now?
Well, it's definitely creative expression. It feels like an important part of me keeping my own identity, like when with this mothering and kind of like the identity I'm shifting into in our household is a little bit like, oh, like I'm used to making money and us being financial equals and like status equals, and it's like a little bit like, oh, I'm doing more home things. So I feel like it's really important for me to have this creative outlet and have somewhere that's really honest and like vital to me as a human. And I really, you know, just like we've talked about, I just really believe that the more open and honest I am the more the right people kind of come towards me because they can see me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it supports all of them.
Beautiful. And so the intention is kind of exploring how the journaling and Substack and how you're bringing yourself into this. Is that right?
Yeah. Like, yeah, just if I could have some, maybe a little bit of clarity about what, like people put their little blurb of what their thing is about. And I'm like, oh, what is my thing about? Like, what am I doing? And I think that's what kind of kept me from the page today. It was like, oh, I'm scared it's all going to be messy and not be clear, and that kind of noise.
Okay. And when you have clarity, what might having that give you?
I think that would give me the confidence to publish something on there and let it flow. I've set myself a goal to publish 3 things on there this month, and they can totally be other things I've written. They don't all have to be original, well, not original, but new things. So that feels like a good goal.
Beautiful.
And I don't want to I don't want to put it to the bottom of the list because it's more challenging than other things.
Okay. And just for fun, let's look at when you're putting 3 things up a month and you have this clear mission or whatever that is, when you have that clarity around what you're doing here, what might having that give you when you're kind of engaging regularly on Substack in this way?
Like, this word satisfaction keeps coming to me. It really feels like the opposite. If you need to publish something on Instagram, you're not keeping up on Instagram and you need to email your list. If that is frustration, because that's what it feels like, of just this constant block of like, I don't like this. The opposite of that to me feels like, oh, this is so satisfying. I've written something and it's true, it's me, it's for me, and I'm putting it up there because I'm keeping a commitment to myself to build my creative practice. As simple as that.
Satisfaction. It's true, it's for you, and you're keeping a commitment to yourself.
Yes.
Ooh, how does that feel to say?
It feels so good. It feels really powerful. It feels like it's come from me. It truly has come from me. It's not a strategy that I'm following. It's not a thing that I'm doing because I think it's going to get me X, Y, or Z. It's just like an intrinsic. You used the word when I mentioned this stuff on Voxer to you. You used the word, and I thought it was so good. Regenerative.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my God, so much of what I've been doing has felt extractive, like, and depleting. And it's like, oh my God, could it be regenerative? Like, is that even a thing?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so part of this is for it to be regenerative, for it to be for you, for it to be a way to connect with others in a way that, my word sounds like aligned or an integrity, instead of that extractive thing that was happening over there on Instagram for you. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Could we just take some breaths and feel into what it could be like? What possibilities are here when it's regenerative?
Yes.
You can even imagine it's happening right here and right now. It feels fulfilling. You're clear. You're putting out 3 a month. It's for you. You might even notice if you can see anything or hear anything that lets you know it's happening, and creating a vision of it or getting a sense of it.
It feels kind of like a bit scrappy in a good way. Like I don't know, like some old parts of me are like, oh yay, we're doing this again. This is good. We should do this. This is what you've always done. It's like share your voice.
And I notice as you're feeling into that, your head's doing something interesting. Can you feel that?
No.
It's kind of bobbing back and forth.
Okay.
I was just curious if that had any meaning for you.
I didn't even notice. I don't really know.
Yeah, no need. So, but Scrappy really stands out, and oh, we're going to do these things we used to do.
Yeah. It's like playful. Oh, right. Yeah, my head is doing that.
There it is. Yeah.
Yes. Just feels more like more free, less pressure, more like kind of like just sort of non-attached, more for fun.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying the head motions.
Yeah, I've got no idea what that. I really have no idea what that is. It's just like,
Yeah. I wonder if we could just let it happen for a minute here and just
yeah.
enjoy it. Just kind of going left, right, left, right.
Yeah. It's not so stern. It's not so like, it feels just like the opposite of like trying to do everything right.
Looks like there's more space or freedom there.
Yeah, it feels like that.
And it looks kind of playful.
Yeah.
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 So while we're just right here and connected with the body, let's just see if anything naturally wants to come in terms of that clarity. You know, what is that thing you're writing about on Substack? And just see if any words come or themes might come from your feet or the bottom of your belly or your little toe. It could be anywhere.
I mean, the first thing that just came was like, can it just be my journal? Which feels like, oh, no, don't be silly. It can't be a journal. That's a bit teenagery.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But like, why not?
Yeah. Well, let's just check for a moment. What's underneath that? Can it just be my journal? Just really feel down beneath that. Is there a desire there? Maybe there's something, maybe nothing.
Well, my journal is like, it's personal, it's intimate, it's vulnerable, it's emotional, it's sensitive, it's I've been writing journals since I was 16 or something, and I've got every single one of them. I have boxes and boxes and boxes of my journals. And it's like almost like a little bit embarrassing, because I'm so like emo. Like, oh, there's another like white girl talking about her emotions.
It sounds like there's a desire for a certain part to be revealed when the judgment's not there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
And can we feel down beneath that? What is really wanted in sharing this, what you're calling emo stuff?
Like validation from myself of like, this is important, and you're not like some emo girl. You're like a sensitive, empathetic, like quite wise little being. I don't know, it's like a young, like a younger part. I think I want to say that too, of just like actually like what you have to say matters, and not everybody has this gift. Like really, really, really not everybody has this gift.
Yeah. As the hand goes to the heart. Yeah. What you have to say matters. You have a gift. Not everybody has this gift.
Yeah.
Let's just make a little space here for everything that comes along with letting your voice out in this way, this deep, emotional, sensitive, expressive way. Just lots of space here.
It actually feels really good, really like just kind of like quite peaceful. Like this, I'm not feeling any like there doesn't feel like there's resistance or tension anywhere, which is like quite surprising.
I just had an image of a stone slowly floating to the bottom of a pond and just resting.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I'm like, oh, finally. You noticed me back here.
I noticed in my own body some tenderness when you said that.
Yeah. And maybe like a little bit pissed off. Like that part's like, just like a little bit like, you forgot about me for a while there.
Yeah, welcoming this part too. It makes so much sense. And from this place, is there any theme that would love to come to paper, come to Substack?
Well, a word came up and I've immediately dismissed it. I was like, no, that's not right. Which was queerness.
Shall we breathe a little bit with that?
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Too weird.
Yeah. Can we breathe with this weird, I don't like it, queerness message that's coming through? Yeah, let's just give it a little space together here.
Yeah, it feels a bit uncomfortable and a bit like emotional.
Yeah. Is it okay to let uncomfortable and emotional be here?
Yeah.
Yeah. We both just took a big breath. You might even notice if there's a part of you that can care about this, extending warmth.
Yeah, that feels nice.
A little more space there.
Yeah. How interesting. It's like just all these rejected parts, like just slightly like I didn't quite, I guess I did have some awareness of that, but like not really. But of course I wouldn't want to be like writing is like revealing in the truest sense, not in like a vulnerability porn kind of way, like in a true, like, you know, truthful kind of way. And it would make sense that I wouldn't really want to, like, if I'm not totally accepting of like the queerness and the sensitivity and the kind of emo-ness, then like writing wouldn't have been top of my agenda.
Yeah. And it's revealing. And I'm curious if it feels any more clear if you were to sit down now to create, to allow creativity to come through you, to receive creativity for Substack. Do you feel more held around what your theme is, what your topic?
Well, I just think it's me, but that's like, no, it can't be. It's got to be about others. And I don't know why I think that. Like this, it's like, oh, it's a bit self-indulgent to just have it be about the things that interest you. Like I don't want it to be this directionless thing, but equally I think the things that I think about and talk about are like the most interesting things in the world.
They are.
You know, and I know
what if it can't be about others and it has to be about you?
I think it probably does, because that's where the ease and the nourishment and the regenerative thing comes from, because it's not me trying to be anything else. This is what comes so easily to me, to just talk about things from my perspective and tell kind of personal stories and anecdotes and things like that's very easy for me. But for some reason I've just told myself that that's not the right way of doing things, and you need to be more professional, and you need to be more this, that, and the other, and like teach things, and you know, it's like, oh
yeah. And just before I asked you that question, you were talking about, oh, there were some rejected parts here. And I can't help but wonder if this part that's speaking is just pretty good at rejecting those parts before anyone else can, as a really strong protector, trying to take care of you.
yeah. Yeah. I wonder why.
In a couple of minutes, we'll support this with a little regulation, but let's take a moment and feel into what sense you make of that. A part of you protecting you in this way.
Oh, yeah. I think in the past when I've shared and, you know, like written very publicly about certain aspects of myself, and like I think I needed for a while there, I think I needed some protection because I didn't actually have any boundaries or anything. So it's like really good in a way to have just had a few years of like, oh, I don't actually have to constantly mine my personal experience and like make my personal life chaotic in order to sell stories to magazines, which was kind of felt sometimes like that's what I was doing. And I have valuable things to offer aside from that. So but now I feel like I know my boundaries and my limits, and I know what I want to share and what I don't want to share. And like, I do think I can just trust myself to let myself be seen in a way that feels like I'm not like selling myself, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. My interpretation is that you'd be honoring yourself and all those other people who need to hear from you and from this deepest part so that they can feel recognized.
Yeah. I get to stop whenever I want to. Like, I don't have to be like, I get to change it up, and I get to like see what feels good. And yeah.
And there's that head movement again. There's some freedom, there's some playfulness here. Yeah. Well, I wonder if we could bring some regulation work in, just a little. Usually we do, 3 times as much, but just to support your body to process through anything that needs to be processed through, and to take up the nourishment from anything here that wants to keep growing. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Anything else that wants to be spoken or expressed before we move into that?
No, that feels really good.
Okay.
Yeah, feels clear. So simple.
Clear and simple.
Yeah.
Oh, it always is, isn't it? All right. So let's bring our intention to your right adrenal, if that feels okay for you. We'll start there, and then we'll come to the left adrenal, the brainstem. We'll hold all three, support all three. Does that feel okay for today?
Yeah.
Okay. And so we'll bring our intention to your right adrenal. Sitting right on top of your kidney in your mid to lower back here. It's shaped like a half moon. No, we're on the right side, shaped like a pyramid. And just supporting your right adrenal. Yeah, welcoming every part. And then we'll float away from your right adrenal and bring our intention to your left adrenal. And shaped like a half moon sitting on top of your kidney here. Yeah, just allowing this left adrenal to rest into support. whenever possible. Left adrenal. And then we'll float away from your left adrenal and all the way up to the top of your spine as it comes up through the hole in the base of your skull at the juncture here where the brainstem is. And we can support your brainstem. Open to possibilities of healing. And then we'll support all three simultaneously: right adrenal, left adrenal, and brainstem. And resting into the support of this healing triangle. Right adrenal, left adrenal, brainstem. And then we'll rest together here in a healing silence for a minute. I'm just letting your body integrate this work. Take your time. And when you feel ready, meeting me back here, feeling free to share how that was for you.
So nice. Yeah, it's like, can all of my actions and all of my choices come from this depth of like presence? And yeah, great. Imagine the world.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. Really
Good. Is there one thing from today that felt impactful that you'd like to take with you?
Yeah. Like, I get to share my journal, we'll call it that for now, my innermost thoughts, and that's it. Like, I've said so many times, if I could get paid for journaling, that would be ideal. And it's like, oh, you kind of can.
Yeah.
Give it a go. See how it feels. Just feels like
Yes.
a big bit of permission to just let myself do what is easy and natural and good for me. Like, oh my God, it's like, duh.
You will flip this paradigm upside down if it's the last thing you do. You're doing it.
Oh, goodness. Thank you, Shelby.
You're welcome. Have you read the book Body Work by Melissa Febos?
No.
One of our mutual colleagues and friends just sent it to me, and it feels like it could give you permission even more to do that. It is really beautiful. I'm only partway into it, but it's very motivating and beautiful.
Amazing. Body Work by Melissa
Febos, Febos.
Beautiful. Oh, I will look that up.
Yay.
Thanks, Shelby.
You're welcome. I am so honored that you have been listening. Thank you. If you're inspired by these sessions, it would be good for you to know that at this rare moment in time, my practice is open for new clients in person in Bend, Oregon, and online. There are a couple of different types of sessions for support for personal trauma healing and nervous system regulation, or for your business and yourself as an entrepreneur and healing practitioner. Book a free intro call now to see if we're a good fit to deepen into this beautiful work of nervous system regulation and trauma healing together. The link is in the show notes. Have a beautiful rest of your day.